Modern human sacrifice is real. It does not happen on stone altars under a blazing sun. It does not involve priests with obsidian blades. Instead, it happens in gleaming operating rooms, in quiet hospital wards, and in front of our own mirrors. This is the sacrifice of self. We are convinced to offer up parts of our bodies, our time, our well-being, and even our lives to powerful new gods. These gods are not celestial beings demanding blood. They are systems of belief we have built ourselves. The God of eternal youth, the God of perfect beauty, the God of defying death at any cost. We are both the victim and the high priest in this modern ritual. The ancient Aztecs believed their sacrifices fed the sun god, Huitzilopochtli, keeping the world in motion. They offered the most precious thing they had, a human heart. Today, we also offer up our bodies, piece by piece. We do it not to keep the sun in the sky, but to keep our place in a demanding social and economic order. The pressures are immense, whispered to us through advertisements, social media feeds, and the success stories of others. The sacrifice is no longer a single brutal act. It is a slow, methodical dismantling of the self. A breast implant here, a risky liposuction treatment there. Each act is presented as a choice, an empowerment, a step toward a better life. But when the choices are shaped by fear and insecurity, how free are they really? This slow sacrifice is disguised as progress. It is sold to us as health, as self-improvement, as a rational decision. Yet, it extracts a heavy toll. It leaves behind physical scars, emotional voids, and financial ruin. Consider the United States, a global leader in this phenomenon. It boasts the highest number of cosmetic procedures in the world, with millions of people going under the knife each year. At the same time, life expectancy has been falling, and rates of suicide and despair are climbing. We are supposedly perfecting our bodies, yet we are becoming less whole. We are chasing a manufactured standard, and the pursuit itself is breaking us. This is the quiet, sanitized violence of our modern age. The connection between the ancient altar and the modern operating table is belief. The Aztecs believed their world would end without sacrifice. We are taught to believe our personal worlds will end if we do not conform, if we look old, if we appear imperfect. We are shamed into hiding abnormal physical traits of our body instead of honoring uniqueness and owning the truth of our scars. The techniques we use to reshape and repair our bodies did not emerge from a desire for beauty. They were born from the brutal necessities of war. Modern plastic surgery has its roots in the trenches of World War I. Surgeons like Sir Harold Gillies pioneered facial reconstruction. Soldiers were shattered by shrapnel. Soldiers were shattered by bullets. His goal was not to make them beautiful, but to make them appear human again. To give them a face they could bear to show the world. Medicine born of trauma, a desperate attempt to mend what violence had destroyed. The urgency was to restore function and identity to men whose bodies had been sacrificed for the nation. These wartime innovations did not stay on the battlefield. After the conflicts ended, the military-industrial complex transformed into a medical-industrial complex and found a new market: the civilian population. Skills used to rebuild a soldier's jaw were repurposed into cosmetic facelifts. Skin graft techniques for burn victims were adapted for breast augmentation. This transfer of technology is a classic shock doctrine example. A crisis, industrial warfare, produces radical innovations. Once the crisis passes, those innovations are commercialized and deployed into peaceful society for passive-aggressive warfare. War on the self or self-loathing. Tools of reconstruction became tools of artificial enhancement, from repair to perfection. The logic of the battlefield is extreme intervention. In combat, the goal is to save a life, no matter the cost. Radical procedures are justified because the alternative is death. Applied to civilian life, that logic changes. It becomes a logic of control. The body is no longer a whole to be healed, but a project to be managed and improved. The body is seen as a series of parts that can be upgraded, replaced, removed. This mindset, born in war's chaos, trains us to see our bodies as flawed battlegrounds. They require constant, aggressive intervention to meet an idealized standard. This legacy continues today. Medical technology, often funded and fast-tracked by military research, is presented as a neutral consumer tool, but it carries the DNA of its origin. It promotes a view of the body as something to be conquered and disciplined, like enemy territory. The surgeon's scalpel, once countering war's violence, becomes an instrument of controlled aesthetic violence. We are encouraged to see natural aging unhealed trauma, or unique features as shameful defects to be corrected with battlefield urgency, perpetuating more band-aid intervention and dissatisfaction. Nowhere is the sacrifice of self more visible than in the world of cosmetic surgery. Each year, millions of people willingly submit to the knife, not to cure a disease, but to chase an elusive ideal of beauty. In 2022 alone, the United States saw over 7.4 million cosmetic procedures, accounting for 22% of global surgeries. This is not a niche activity. It is a mainstream industry built on a foundation of manufactured insecurity. The industry does not sell procedures. It sells a promise. The promise of acceptance, of love, of success. It identifies a flaw you never knew you had. The symbolism is deeply, almost eerily, resonant with ancient rituals. The Aztec priests offered the human heart, the seed of life. Today, one of the most common cosmetic procedures is breast augmentation, placing a foreign object that leaches plastics into the bloodstream over time, directly over the chest, near the heart. It is a modification of the body's core, an offering made at the altar of a specific, commercialized vision of femininity. Other procedures involve carving away bone, suctioning out flesh, injecting toxins to paralyze muscles. These are violent acts, sanitized by medical language. We call it a nose job or tummy tuck, using soft words to disguise the brutal reality of cutting, breaking, and reshaping a healthy body. This is not a free choice made in a vacuum. It is a decision made under immense cultural and economic pressure. From a young age, we are bombarded with images of a singular, digitally perfected ideal. This ideal is shaped and altered by a global elite, and their artificially manufactured standard of beauty can shift at any time, particularly when they need to drain more money from their population of sheep. For those who do not fit, the message is clear. Your body is wrong. You must fix it to participate fully in society. The pressure is economic too. In certain professions, looking young and vital is an unspoken job requirement. The sacrifice of one's natural face becomes a down payment on continued employment. The choice is not between changing your body or not. It is between conforming or risking social and economic invisibility. The body becomes a canvas for anxieties projected onto it by a market controlled by global elitists and child trafficking pedophile networks. Instead of addressing the root causes of our insecurities, a culture that profits from our self-doubt and perpetual illnesses, we are directed to blame ourselves. We are told the problem is not the system, the problem is our thighs, our wrinkles, our very own flesh. The cosmetic industry offers a simple, individual solution to a complex, systemic problem. In doing so, it ensures the larger structures of power are never questioned. We remain trapped in a cycle of self-blame, self-modification, and self-mutilation, offering up pieces of ourselves in the hope of finally feeling worthy. The sacrifice is not always a choice made in the pursuit of beauty. Sometimes it is disguised as an act of love, of necessity, of fighting until the very end. This is the slow sacrifice of modern medicine, where the line between extending a life and prolonging a death becomes terrifyingly blurred. We have developed incredible technologies to keep the body functioning. Ventilators that breathe for us, feeding tubes that nourish us, machines that pump our blood. These are miracles of science. But when deployed without regard for a person's quality of life, they can become instruments of a prolonged sterile torture and of exploiting the elderly of their life savings, leaving nothing left for their children and grandchildren to inherit but medical bills. Consider the final months of a terminal illness. The patient may be shuttled between the hospital and a care facility, subjected to round after round of painful, debilitating treatments that offer only a slim chance of a few more weeks or months. The body is poked, prodded, and invaded. The person inside that body is often lost in a haze of medication and exhaustion. This is not a natural, peaceful passing. It is a medicalized battleground where the body is the territory being fought over, long after the person has wished for peace. The family, driven by love and a desperate hope fed by the medical establishment, insists on doing everything, without fully understanding that everything can be a form of cruelty. This is a sacrifice demanded by our cultural fear of death. We have come to see death not as a natural part of life, reincarnation and liberation, but as a moral and medical failure fueled by guilt. An enemy to be defeated at any cost. The hospital system, structured for intervention and billing, is designed to support this war. Procedures are performed and bills are generated. The economic engine of the healthcare industry hums along, powered by our deepest fears. The patient and their family are caught in this machine, often too overwhelmed to ask the most important question. Is this what they would have wanted? Is this preserving a life? Is this merely sustaining a body? The sacrifice is profound. Families exhaust their life savings to pay for treatments that only prolong suffering. The dying person sacrifices their chance for a dignified, conscious end. They are denied the opportunity to say goodbye, to find closure, to experience their final days in comfort and with clarity. Instead, their last moments are often spent in a state of managed unconsciousness, their body a site of relentless medical intervention. We have become so good at keeping the heart beating that we have forgotten how to care for the emotional state of the human being. This, too, is a form of human sacrifice, giving up a peaceful death at the altar of technological possibility. Who benefits from these sacrifices? What are the belief systems that drive them? We do not serve feathered serpents or sun gods. We serve the intertwined gods of late-stage capitalism, technological progress, the myth of purchasing a perfectible self. These are the operating principles of our modern world. They are embedded in our economy, our media, our institutions. They demand constant growth, constant feeding, constant improvement, constant consumption. The raw material for this process is often our own bodies and minds. The system requires us to be insecure, dissatisfied, even hopeful, hoping the next purchase or procedure treatment will make us whole. The industries that benefit are vast and powerful, sometimes extending to underground military cloning facilities of our popular celebrities and politicians, promoting the normalization of cosmetic procedures to hide their experiments in plain sight. The cosmetic surgery market, hundreds of billions, allows the military-industrial complex that created it to commit crimes in plain sight. Many individuals who are sex trafficked are often forced to receive these procedures in order to appear more desirable. The diet industry, similar scale. Private healthcare, trillions. Pharmaceutical industry, trillions. They don't thrive when people are content and healthy, growing gardens and foods on their own. They thrive on anxiety and perpetual seeking. They manufacture insecurities through relentless marketing, then sell us the solution. A perfect closed loop of profit, reinforced by a quasi-religious faith in technology as our savior. Feeling sad? There's a pill for that. Feeling old? There's a procedure for that. Facing death? There's a machine for that. This belief stops us from asking deeper questions about how we live, what we value, how we treat one another. It makes us look for fast, superficial fixes, not internal change, nor societal change. We place faith in the scalpel, the syringe, hoping they will deliver us from ordinary suffering. This faith is a trap. It promises empowerment, but often delivers the opposite. It turns us into passive consumers, outsourcing our well-being to corporations and to experts. We lose trust in being experts of our own bodies and our own judgment. The more we rely on external interventions, the more we need them. This is how the gods of our age maintain power. No temples of stone. Their temples are the clinics, the hospitals, the advertisements inside our heads. The price of progress is a constant state of becoming. We never arrive. The sacrifice is endless. But we are not powerless before these new gods. The first step in dismantling any altar is to recognize that it exists. We must confront the uncomfortable truth our society is engaged in a widespread, slow-motion sacrifice of human well-being for the sake of profit and ideology created for exploitation. The language of choice and empowerment has been co-opted to sell us our own diminishment. Is it truly empowerment to go into debt to have your ribs broken and reshaped to fit a fleeting fashion trend? Is it a victory to keep a loved one's body alive on machines long after their consciousness has faded, bankrupting your family in the process? We must ask these moral questions loudly and clearly. The alternative to this cycle of sacrifice is not a rejection of medicine or a retreat from the world. It is a demand for clarity. It is a demand for honesty. It is a demand for human dignity. We need to untangle medicine from the predatory logic of the market. The goal of healthcare should be well-being. The goal of healthcare should not be endless intervention. The goal of society should be to foster resilience. The goal of society should be to foster self-acceptance, not to manufacture insecurities for profit. We must build a culture that values the individual light in all their diversity and imperfection. A culture that sees aging not as a disease to be cured, but as a natural part of a life to be lived fully, to the very end. With love, personal power, and joy being the natural human life extenders instead of machines. Reclaiming our bodies from these systems of sacrifice requires a conscious and collective effort. It means challenging the impossible standards of beauty we see online and in media. It means having difficult, honest conversations about what a good death really means long before a crisis hits. It means supporting policies that put people's health above corporate profit. The body is not a project to be perfected or a machine to be fixed. It is the home of our consciousness, the vessel of our experience. It deserves our protection, not our sacrifice. To begin this process of reclamation, curate your media. Do not allow yourself to idolize anything or anyone. Actively unfollow social media accounts and stop consuming media that makes you feel insecure about your body. Follow artists, follow thinkers, follow creators who celebrate a wide range of human appearances and experiences. This is a small act of defiance against the gods of commercialized beauty. Create an advance directive. Have a frank conversation with your loved ones about your wishes for end-of-life care. Document these wishes in a living will or advance directive. This act reclaims your right to a dignified end, refusing to be sacrificed at the altar of technological possibility. Finally, question the fix. The next time you feel the urge to fix something about yourself, whether through a diet, a product, or a procedure, pause, and ask yourself, where is this desire coming from? Who profits from my insecurity? What is the real problem I am trying to solve?